Hello, YouTube. Here is my beautiful dog, Maxi. I can't believe it's been a month already of doing the YouTubes. I've had a lot of fun with it. I wanted to give a life update, partially for like keeping a record, looking back on in the future, but, thought it might be fun to do that maybe once a month or at milestones. So maybe like at 3 months next time, and then after half a year. And so this video is perhaps going to be a bit longer, a bit more chill, relaxed. I wanted to show you my favorite room in the house because I'm gonna redo it soon. I'm gonna turn it into an office, which sounds boring, but it's really not because well, I study a lot, right? And I do a little bit of YouTube, and I'm gonna have the living room next door to it, so I'm gonna be spending a lot of time in here. I have been spending a lot of time in here. It's just a good feng shui room. Unfortunately, it has gotten a bit messy, and it needs, a bit of a makeover. So I put up these bookshelves myself. Unfortunately, they're a bit crooked, but the books don't fall off that often. Um, in there is currently the bedroom, but I'm gonna move the living room there. Sadly, these candelabras is, my wife is about to move out and she's taking them with her. Um, these also have to go, they're a pair for a reason. And I'm gonna think about uh, changing the bookshelves, but it's not really necessary. I don't know yet. I'm gonna do new windows in the entire house, and I'm thinking about adding a window here or there. Of course, out here is a porch which me and my best friend Daniel built like 2 years ago. It's very nice. And it's perfect because we have the local playground there. So when the kids were a bit younger, we could sit on the porch and watch them play. Perfect. Of course, we have the pull-up bar and the tire. Um, I want a new couch because this one sucks, and these they're not connected. You can force them together with tools, but the tools keep falling off on the downside. Um, so I wanted to talk about, I got this house, the past, the present, and the future. I got this house 2017, and I've lived here until now. And one of the things on my bucket list is a house with a beautiful view, preferably over, looking out over a lake or the sea or, mountains or whatever. So even though I love this house and it's served me well as my home for the last 8 years now, wow, I will eventually be looking to get a different house. It has so many memories in it, of course, our bonus family, me, my wife, and our three kids combined. And, it's been awfully rough, if I'm honest. It's super rough breaking up with someone with the family. And I could never really, I had no idea how rough that could be. It's like probably one of the worst things that has ever happened to me. And to be honest, I've been through some stuff in my life and some challenges, but this one was what's the opposite of a banger? A bad banger, for sure. And even though I really love this house, and you know, there's so many positive memories about it as well. And I love the porch that we built, and I will be so sad to see it go. I do believe that I have to move out here sometime. You know, in the first, we've been sort of broken up, I guess, like a month or two, and in the beginning, I would walk around the house, and I would have like flashbacks, like reels or videos in my memories, and it was, absolutely brutal. I thought I was gonna go insane because I kept seeing, shadows or ghosts. Not actually, I'm not in psychosis, right? It's in the head of events and pastimes and stuff like that. And something that I learned is super duper important when it comes to breakups is to not dwell too much on the past. But that is super hard when you are stuck at home as much as I am, because I am a part-time fireman, so I work and we're short-staffed. So basically 15 days, full days a week, full days a month. Sorry, I'm on call, and I can't really go anywhere. Of course, I could, go somewhere else close to the fire station, but there's nothing to do anywhere here. So I'm stuck in this house, as I have been for a long time. And even though I'm feeling a lot better now, and I'm not seeing these constant flashback reels, still a bit, it's kind of a sad place for me now, and I'm gonna try to make it better and try to do some remodeling and remaking. But I feel like if I stay here, especially stay here forever, it's just gonna be, uh, it's gonna be, it's not gonna be good, because I'm always gonna think back to those times. And loving memories should be something that you visit occasionally when you feel good and you want to think positively about your life, and not something that should be sort of a painful reminder of what you don't have now. And yeah, I just feel like, because you can overwrite memories as well, and that's what you do when remodel. Because if you move stuff around, it's going to be sort of a new place, and then you can create new memories. And but it feels like that would be difficult in this case, because I have so many intense, cheerful memories. And one of the first things that I did was try and go through my entire gallery of videos and photos and put them on a separate USB drive, and then put that USB drive away, because these are not memories that I want to delete or lose, because some of them are, very beautiful, but the most beautiful memories might in some cases be the most painful. So, maybe in a decade or two I can look back on them, but for now I just want them off my phone, so that I don't have to look at them, because they keep popping up as memories and whatever. And yeah, like I said, I work as a part-time fireman. I'm twice booked, so to speak, which means that I am on call for 14 of every 28 days. And, I don't mind being at home a lot. I like being at home a lot, because the alternative would be to work quite a bit to get that much money. It's not, super duper much money, but for sitting at home, it is quite a lot. And to get as much money as that, those 14 days per 28 days, I would basically have to work eight 8-hour shifts, if not more. And this saves me so much time when I combine it with studying. Because of course I can sit here on call and study, and it works really well. The downside, of course, is that kind of locked down. It's sort of like having an ankle monitor, I imagine, but not, of course, that bad, because you still have half of the time free. I really love that job, though. Let me just tell you, I'm sorry, this is going to be sort of a longer video, but I hope you find it interesting as well. I often say that the 3 best things that I've done is replace the heating with an automatic heating. In Sweden, we would, I don't know what it's called in English, but I had pellets, and then I switched to Bergvärme, which probably is the number 1 decision that I ever made. The second one was, what was that? I'm gonna pause it. The second one, of course, was going back to school. And, it's obviously number 1. It's a bit of a joke, the heating thing. Because well, it's not a joke, actually. I recommend it highly to anyone. But going back to school has been, absolutely amazing. Not to spoil the third thing, but I have ADD, and I think before this, except for the fire department job, I've had like, I don't know, 30 jobs, 40. I would get bored after 3 months, and then I would quit without having a new job lined up, and then I would get a new job, find it super fun, and then after 3 months it would suck, and then I would quit, and that's been going on until I found the fire department job. I've been there 7 years almost, and but that is, a secondary job, and I decided in 2021, after being inspired by my wife, who talked about it a lot, to go back to school and do something that I actually really want to do, or at least better than what I was currently doing, which is welding in an industry, which is what I'm trained for in high school, gymnasiet, but that I really hate. It's really boring, and it's honestly pretty hard work. And at first I wanted to do an economy degree, because I honestly had no idea about anything when it comes to, university or higher education. I thought that everything, my thought about it was that everything is sort of like a marketing degree. So it's, stuff that's really good to know, but only gives, and I don't know if marketing degrees are like this. That's just, the prime example that I can think of for this point is that no job security if you don't, combine it with some sort of entrepreneurship or really good self-marketing, which of course marketing would be good for. But I thought that all higher sort of education was something that didn't necessarily lead to a job, unless you went to become a doctor, or of course a nurse or something like that. But I hadn't really considered any of those, and nurse and doctor and lawyer was basically the jobs that I knew of, that, and dentist, that is a pipeline to a job, probably. I don't know, maybe it's hard to get a job as a lawyer. So I was hesitant about it for a very long time. We talked about sense of coherence and, if you can understand it or stuff like that. And it was just, I didn't understand any of it really. Not that I had tried, but as we often do, we just avoid things we don't understand. So I decided to go into economy because I had learned that, you can be a tax editor or something like that and make a lot of money. I had to go to what's called Convux and sorry. I had to go to Convux to get my high school degree. I had to put in basically a year and a half. It was a little bit extra to because I was waiting to get into the program, which only started in the fall. And pretty early on during this time, I decided that I don't want to do economy because I would get horribly bored sitting at a computer looking at numbers. Now, I don't know if that is all economists do, but I decided that if I'm gonna, dedicate 4 to 5 to 6 years of my life to get an education, it has to be something that I truly love. And I just remembered that I've always loved psychology. Even though before this, I studied psychology online on my own, watched seminars and lectures and whatever. And I found an old interview with myself in a newspaper. I am really good at math, and I was in a math competition that I won. And they asked me afterwards what I wanted to do when I grew up, and I told them psychologist. And I don't know, I don't think I've had any idea what a psychologist did. I think I thought of psychologists basically like I thought of like philosophers or thinkers basically. So I decided to go into the psychology program, and at this point I was already having so much fun. I loved learning history, and basically just learning anything is a luxury compared to working, especially if you work as a welder and you do like 8,000 of the same thing for days on end. Um, and 2023 is when I started the psychologist program, and compared to the high school education that I had to do before, it was shocking how easy and low tempo the program actually is. Because I've always had an easy time in school, and but the Convux was designed for basically 40 hours a week, with micromanaging of what you are supposed to do every day, which is super comfortable. I like that a lot, and could be like today you're gonna read page 110 through 180 and then do the questions at the end of chapter 4, and that's 8 hours of work. And I say this even though the start of the psychology program was probably more intense than now, even, and you absolutely don't have to spend more than maybe 10 hours a week. So I immediately started having problems with this because I was like, I actually signed up to dedicate years of my life to learn as much as I can about this, and I'm not being fed nearly enough information. I wanted to be pushed. I wanted to I wanted it to be 80 hours a week, and I struggled to keep up, and I wanted the movie college experience where you're sitting at the library and just chugging coffee and hating life, but learning so much because you're forced to, and you like it, and feeling like a performer as those who knows me know, I've always liked the fly here. I've always liked, competing, pushing myself in various sports and other activities, and I was disappointed. So I decided that if I'm going to spend all this time doing this thing, I have to uh, add to my learning myself. So the things that I felt was lacking from the program, I added myself, and I had previously watched a lot of Jordan Peterson, his lectures about personality psychology and Jungian psychology, and I just kept on doing that. So I started by making a list basically of the 50 biggest names in psychology, and some in sociology and some in philosophy. And I decided that I want to read and review one book from each of these people. And that's going to give me, a massive, massive background and additional knowledge of the subject. And let me tell you, I've probably learned 5 times as much from that individual, basically self-learning, than I have from school, and combining them, of course, and interconnecting the knowledge from the program and these books have been, a super accelerant for learning. And I feel like I know so much, and that's what I like talking about it, and that's what I wanted to make videos, because it's also one of the things that, like I said in another video, we learn things better on the way out, and talking about them and making videos about them just enhances my learning as well. And some of the things that I find most interesting is not that good for YouTube. Like my favorite subject, probably. Well, I've got two favorite subjects, right? And one is sports psychology, and that does very well on YouTube and the internet, and a lot of people like that. And then my second favorite is the subconscious, which does horribly on YouTube for some reason, unless you do like clickbait stuff, and I don't really want to do that because, I want the channel to grow and spread, but I hate it, posting stuff that looks like AI generated garbage that is, algorithm friendly and stuff like that. If I wanted to do like a YouTube career, that is perhaps what I would do, but I wouldn't like it. I would much rather, try to do my own thing and do it well, and see where that goes. If I have low expectations of the channel, high hopes but low realistic expectations. And if I could get to where each one of my videos gets 1,000 views its first day, that would be more than thrilling. I'm already having a good time, and I have lots of spare time, like I said, from the fire department job, and that would be more than enough. So let's talk about the present for a minute. I'm sure I'll get to talk about more of the past in the basically future videos like these. But I have an exam on Monday, so I'm gonna study. I have my printed, let's see, exam questions right here. I can apparently, just print old exam questions and study them, and half of them probably show up on the new exam as well, which is sort of a cheat code, but it's very good to reduce stress, because it's up to you if you want to learn extra, and I definitely try to learn extra, but I use the old exam questions as a baseline to reduce stress and anxiety, because the exam formula that school uses is necessary but not great for learning. More on that in some other video. Besides that, I'm on call all weekend and trying to tidy up the house, but of course, with the move, it's a bit of chaos right now, and I'm expecting, to get things in order in perhaps 2 weeks or so. And I wanted to talk, the last few minutes, I'm going to try to keep this under a half an hour, about my future plans, because I want to be able to revisit them in the future and see what has changed, and did I, do the things that I said I was going to do. And basically my future plans for the upcoming year or so is to keep doing a video like this every day, keep working, saving some money on the side, and I was planning perhaps to finally get my motorcycle license, which I've talked about for like 15 years. And I know it's such a cliche that break up with your wife or whatever and then you get a motorcycle, but I don't care, honestly. I used to ride dirt bikes a lot when I was young, and it's one of the things that I love most about life, probably, among a few other things. And I'll be damned if I go my entire one life without getting a motorcycle. I'm sorry, I think my dog ran. Sorry about the pauses and stuff. So the last thing about my future that I know right now is that I really want to start a special needs home when, not right away after I graduate, because I still have to do a year to get my clinical psychologist license. And then, perhaps a year or two more to get some experience. But that is the current goal, is to start a special needs home. Yeah, basically, that is as far as I've gotten in the planning. Now, what I also intend to do is study. Right now I'm really I've always been into sports psychology. I've loved it ever since I started competing in powerlifting and of course in arm wrestling. And I want to learn more theory about it. So I'm looking into different books and courses about sports psychology. So if you have any recommendations about that, just let me know, because apparently this is not a part of the psychologist program. So it is something that I have to learn on my own, but that is fine, because if you have a passion or an interest, it's almost sometimes better if you sort of have the discipline for it to take it on your own, because there are limitations to classic courses and stuff like that you don't necessarily have. And some talk about having some sort of paper to show for it that this and that, but I honestly think that's just old school gatekeeping bullshit thing, and I think that doesn't matter at all. So let's keep going for another month, a year, 10 years, who knows. I graduate in something like 1100 days, and I want to say thank you to everyone that has subscribed, liked and commented, and please doing so. It makes me really happy, and it has been very cheerful for me in these tough times. I will see you tomorrow, and tomorrow is going to be a proper banger. I already have a plan for it. I will see you then. Goodbye.